Welcome to an investor podcast update. My name is Tony Dawe, Director of Global Investor Relations for BrainChip. Each podcast, I compile a list of some of our shareholders' most frequently asked questions and put those questions to a senior member of the BrainChip team. Today, I'll be putting those questions directly to BrainChip CEO, Sean Hehir. Hi, Sean, and welcome back to the BrainChip Investor Podcast series to discuss some exciting recent developments at the end of 2024.
Hi, Tony. Glad to be here, and hello to all of our shareholders.
So, Sean, BrainChip recently announced a major contract win with the US Air Force Research Laboratory. Can you elaborate more on this engagement and what this means for BrainChip going forward?
Yeah, of course, Tony. It's a question I want to talk about. Obviously, the win with the Air Force is a very important step in our commercialization journey. More importantly, it just wasn't a really nice, important commercial win. It's a validation from a very important entity in the world, quite frankly, with very strong requirements and demands. And I think this is a wonderful endorsement of our Akida 2.0 strategy plus 10s. They really, really like that combination of Akida plus 10s. This is all about that story of those two together. So very happy for the team that worked hard on this, and I'm very happy for all of our shareholders.
Thanks, Sean. And in addition to the US Air Force Research Laboratory win, we've also had a win with Front Grade Geisler. Would you care to tell me a bit more about that engagement and how that came about and what that means for BrainChip?
Sure. I mean, I'm equally excited about this one for a couple of reasons. We work very closely with Front Grade and Front Grade's customers, and you can read about what their customers and who their customers are. It is one of the more demanding environments you can put silicon. And to be part of what they're doing is so important. And it's, again, another validation of our offering from a world-class organization. I could not be more pleased. Secondly, if you recall, in many of my public comments when I talk about Akida 2.0 and 10s, I've always said Akida 1.0 is a great world-class product. It's just narrow in its scope, but for particular use cases, it's outstanding. This is a great example. It's an Akida 1.0 implementation, and it's a wonderful application and will serve its purpose incredibly well. We look forward to working for years coming with Front Grade. It's a wonderful partnership.
Thanks, Sean. Even though the announcement of Akida Pico fell just outside the September quarter, would you like to talk about this and explain how it fits within the broader commercial strategy for Akida?
Pico illustrates a lot of things that we have going on with BrainChip right now. First of all, Pico came from a lot of customer interactions. We had a lot of requests from customers to say, how small can you go? We need something very small, very precise, at very low power. And what that shows me is a couple of things. One is that we listen well to our customers and responded. Two, it illustrates the scalability element of Akida. So what Pico is it's literally less than a single node. But those who follow BrainChip closely know that each node has 4 NPs. This is actually a single NP neural processor and a little bit of memory, and it will handle very specific models for specific use cases at very low power. And for those use cases, it's the ideal instrument. So very excited about it. The interest is incredibly strong from our inbound calls.
Thanks, Sean. Shareholders continue to ask me for updates on the sale of the Edgeboox being produced by VVDN. Can you provide an update on their progress and give some indication as to what your expectations are?
Sure. Edgeboox is meeting our expectations. I have said on numerous occasions what our expectations were, which is this is simply an opportunity to offer an evaluation tool for certain corporate customers and for small businesses to buy and deploy. We do not look at this as a large revenue opportunity, but simply a vehicle for more to get their hands on it through us. Now, any volume sales will come through our partners. In this case, that would be VBDN. At VBDN, of course, we're enabling them with chip sales. We're enabling them with technology knowledge from our side. And I know for a fact, if you look on their website, they're out trying to generate volume sales right now.
Fantastic. Thanks. The appointment of Stephen Brightfield as Chief Marketing Officer represents a major acquisition to the executive team. Can you speak to the impact that Stephen has had in this role since he joined the company in August, and what is he focused on now?
Well, first, I should probably formally welcome Steve because we haven't had a chance to do that on this podcast, but we're very happy to have him here. And Steve's responsibilities are really threefold, and they're all very, very important for this company. One is working on the messaging for the entire company. If you think of the evolution of what we've done in our strategy over the last several months and going into 25, he's focused on, obviously, Akita 2.0 and all the richness and increased functionality associated with this. That's one. Two, the addition of pens to the portfolio. And then, of course, all the other kind of configurations like Pico. So messaging is critical. And he's also trying to illustrate the strengths at a different level. If you look at the market and what's going on in the market, as movement of workloads towards the edge, most workloads on the edge are streaming in nature. And what we do between our neuromorphic architecture and TENS is really specialize and excel in streaming. So you could expect Steve to lean harder in the messaging around the streaming elements of our offerings. That's one. Two, he's busy with all the tactics, trade shows, collateral, etc., mail-outs for demand gen campaigns. And then last but not least, of course, he's responsible for our product roadmaps. He works very closely with our CTO organization, our head of engineering, of course, doing the research with analysts, listening to customer feedback from sales, and planning our roadmaps for the next 18 months. So a big job, and he's doing very, very well with it.
Fantastic. During the quarter, you also announced that the Scientific Advisory Board has been re-envisioned. What does this mean, and how will it benefit shareholders?
This is another really important, maybe subtle change that we've made in the company. BrainChip has been and always will be technology and science based. It's really important that we get the best minds available in our chosen field to challenge what we do, look at what we do, and make it better. Help us plan for the future. We couldn't be any more happy with the addition of Jason and Andre to this board. They are leaders in this field, and they're already providing great benefit to our roadmaps and our discussions that we work through here. Also, under Tony's leadership with Peter, because Peter, of course, the founder of the company, is on that board as well. Tony's invigorated a set of meetings at a very regular cadence, giving homework, challenging. So we're getting great value from Peter, Andre, and Jason right now.
Thanks, Sean. So can you provide some insight into the market reaction to our new TENS algorithm and TENS configured with Akita 2.0?
Absolutely. In a simple word, strong. The interest is very strong from customers we know and new customers that we're talking to. What people resonate to is what it can do. And when you think about edge workloads and you're trying to accomplish these tasks, these complex tasks in the smallest area at the lowest power signature and high performance, you can do that through the hardware, which we do with Akita, which is really, really important and world-class and leading. But if you add a unique algorithm like TENS or models based off of that algorithm like TENS, now you've got something like a double acceleration, because what you have with TENS is the ability to execute these tasks with models that may be as low as a third the size of the original model. And when you do a third of the size of the model, you're going to use about a third of the operations and, of course, a third of the power. So you do that kind of math on top of the savings for Akita. People are very interested in accomplishing their tasks that way. And we could not be more excited about what's going on with TENS right now.
Thanks, Sean. Most shareholders are aware that the company raised an additional $20 million last quarter through a placement to institutional investors and a share purchase plan for existing retail investors. What was the rationale for the institutional placement, and why was the SPP included, given that it only raised $632,000?
Well, the logic for an institution placement was really simple. We knew we were at a point in the company where we had some very interesting things going on with ETA 2.0 and TENS, and quite frankly, with the traction and the interest we're seeing in the commercial side. We wanted to ensure we had the funding to fully exploit that opportunity, particularly when you couple the movement, when you look what's going on in the market and more workloads coming to the edge, more and more models coming to the edge. We want to be well positioned to take advantage of them, which we are going forward. Around the SPP, that was a promise we made to our shareholders who wanted to participate. We feel very happy that we can provide that vehicle for them and are pleased with the results.
Thanks, Sean. So you recently conducted an interview with Mark Kennis from Stocks Down Under, where you were very bullish about the future of the company and in particular about our commercial prospects. Would you care to elaborate on the comments that you made in that interview and give our shareholders some indication as to what your expectations are for the near future?
Yeah, the confidence I shared on that interview just a few short weeks ago is absolutely genuine and getting stronger every single day. When I look at the traction we're making on our roadmap and the progress we're making across all fronts and advancing Akita, and you'll see some announcements here soon on other things around Akita and with TENS, and more importantly, I know from our shareholders' point of view and mine, in some of these engagements, I am absolutely believing we're out doing the right things in this company right now, and that we will start to see the fruits of all this hard work in the not too distant future. So yes, that optimism that they heard, I absolutely have, and I'm incredibly confident that good things and good results will happen in the next several months and into the next year.
Thanks, Sean. Looking ahead to 2025, what do you see on the horizon for BrainChip? And have we started work on Akita 3.0 yet?
2025 is a critical year for BrainChip. We have a lot going on, but we need to execute well. We're going to execute on all the vectors I spoke about earlier, on further developing models for TENS, evolving Akita platform as we know it, and of course, pushing platforms like Pico and evolving those. The question around 3.0, of course, we began planning it. We're always planning different and subsequent releases of all of our technology, but I want to be really clear. 2.0 and TENS are leading platforms, and I can give you some very specific example. Akita 2.0 will be supporting state-based model, is supporting state-based models, which is unique in this industry. And if you look at the trends and models, these are the hot models. Of course, TENS is one of those state-based models as well, but we will support others. That's unique. That's what we're selling and will carry us for a long time.
Thanks, Sean. It's been a pleasure talking to you today, and I hope your responses to these questions will go some way to satisfying investors' appetite for more information about BrainChip.
Thank you, Tony. It's always great to be here and talk to you, but more importantly, to all of our shareholders. And I look forward to sharing updates in the new year.
Thank you for listening to this investor podcast update with my guest, BrainChip CEO Sean Hehir. Episode 8 of the BrainChip Quarterly Investor Podcast series will be released in February 2025. Until then, on behalf of BrainChip, we wish you all the best for the new year, and thank you for your continued support.